so competitive.
It's the best time of year for college basketball fans, and this league is very competitive. And this afternoon, we have two of the hottest teams in the ACC. BC has won 3 in a row, and Georgia Tech has won 4 of 5. Should be a great contest.
As the Eagles and Yellow Jackets tip, it is controlled by Javon Franklin, and we are underway. Kyle Sturdivant with the basketball. He's been one of the top point guards in the ACC the last month. He was named captain by Josh Pastner. Recently, here's a 3 attempt by Lance Terry, and that's a good start for the Yellow Jackets. If he hits the 3, it could be a long day for the opponent.
And the hot shooting continues for Georgia Tech, coming off a game against Syracuse where they hit 18 threes. This is a team over the last 8 games that is making over 40% of their three-point attempts. Earl Grant wants to take away the three-point line from Georgia Tech.
The pass by Bickerstaff to Post, who gets doubled and sealed off nicely as Bickerstaff is in the starting lineup as a senior. Here's a 3, and that one is good. 2 consecutive threes, that one by Debo Coleman. You mentioned the game against Syracuse. They won by 20. They hit the school record 18 threes. They called it a Papa-Shot game.
Well, it looked like a Papa-Shot game, and they picked up where they left off in Syracuse with 2 early threes.
Bickerstaff off the mark. The rebound tracked by Terry. Here comes the Jackets. Miles Kelly. What a game he had against the Orange with 7 threes. Combining with Terry for 14 of their 18 three-pointers. And there's the deep 3, and it's good.
Goodness.
My goodness, they're a house on fire. Kelly with the 3, and the 9-0 early run.
Well, great ball movement by Georgia Tech, but Earl Grant cannot be happy with how much space the Georgia Tech shooters have had early in this game. He's talked to his team about taking away the 3.
TJ Pena making his 9th start. Another senior that started in the lineup by Earl Grant, as it's out of bounds, but the three-pointers are just magnificent for the Jackets.
Great ball movement for early rhythm 3s for Georgia Tech. Boston College will have to tighten up and locate shooters earlier and run them off the three-point line.
Now, what are you looking for defensively for the Eagles as Sturdivant misses their first shot?
Well, Boston College is a team that can really pressure the basketball, and their physicality on the perimeter and their effort needs to take Georgia Tech out of their rhythm of the Princeton offense.
TJ Bickerstaff with a putback. Bickerstaff has traditionally been one of the top rebounders in the ACC. This year averaging 5.5 boards per game, 2nd on the club. Good ball movement by the Jackets. Terry gets in the paint for Franklin. Too strong off the glass, but was that a good idea by Terry?
Very good drive by Terry and fine. Franklin just couldn't convert. This Georgia Tech team is playing with a ton of confidence, and that is not a welcome sight for Earl Grant.
No, certainly not, as he was injured the first part of the season. We'll see what happens here. It looks like he just stepped on a defender awkwardly.
We talked about how important Post was to the success of this BC team. Let's see if he can walk that off.
Pena the 3, and the rebound by Kelly. BC off to a slow start. Eagles 1 for 6 from the field.
And one of the things with Boston College, their offense runs best when they're playing through the paint. They've settled early in this game for perimeter jump shots without the ball touching the paint.
And Post in noticeable pain on the Eagles bench. Jaden Zachary's been a big part of their success in the last month. League Bay off the bench. Bickerstaff has BC's 4 points. He only averages 5 per outing.
And that's where Boston College needs to go with the ball. They want to play through the paint. We talked to Earl Grant before the game. They are a paint team on the offensive end. Need to continue to attack the paint.
Coleman got his defender Pena in the air. Can't make him pay for it. Good offensive glass by Franklin. Terry rims it out. Terry, a transfer for Gardner-Webb. He's been such an igniter for them His numbers staggering in their ACC victories, over 45% from three, and an N1 situation for TJ Pena. And that will bring us to our lacrosse at BC. He is always remembered by all in the BC community. So a good touch by the Eagles to wear the red bandana uniforms as you check out the number 19 patch from Mackay's uniform as the three-point play is completed. That's a 7-0 BC run, Steve Wojciechowski, since they were trailing 9-0.
Gotta be interested out of the timeout if BC increases their pressure.
That's what you were looking for,
says, right? You want to pressure me? I'm going to go by you. Such a unique matchup at the center. He's undersized, quick, good with the ball. Very difficult matchup for opposing centers.
TJ Pena with the three, and he nails it. As it's a 1-point lead for the Jackets. So Pena has given them a lift in his 9th start of the year. Transfer from an NAIA school. Also played JUCO ball. Harassing defense from TJ Bickerstaff. Shot clock under 10. Here comes Kyle Sturdivant against Zachary. Kelly from 40.
Excellent defensive exchange there for the Eagles. Ball pressure, the ability to keep Georgia Tech out of the paint and force a long contested three.
Lob pass tipped out of bounds by Sturdivant. BC ball.
Boston College guards do such a good job of keeping their chest in front against a live dribble, and it results into a desperation shot at the end of shot clock. That is exactly what Earl Grant wants to see.
Opponents hitting 37% from three-point distance against the Eagles, 8 per game. BC without Post, who's on the bench with an apparent ankle injury, and the rebound put up and in by Devin McLaughlin to give BC its first lead. McLaughlin can corral the offensive glass. He's been a revelation for them from Cumming, Georgia. And the pass thrown out of bounds. The rare error by the Jackets, who only average 11 turnovers per game.
Terrific job getting to the offensive glass by McLaughlin, and that is where BC wants to attack. One of the things with the undersized lineup that Josh Pastner has employed in these games, they can give up offensive boards.
Kai Ashton-Langford, the nifty layup attempt. Ashton-Langford, Zachary, and Post accounting for nearly 60% of the BC offensive output the last 13 games. Skip pass. Jalon Moore with the three. They only go 6 deep. What does that mean for the Jackets?
Well, it's going to be important for their main guys to stay out of foul trouble. And in the game, this shorter rotation, along with inserting Franklin at the 5, has been a key to Georgia Tech's success over recent games.
Yeah, we just received word that Quinten Post will not return. He is out with an ankle injury.
That is a huge loss for the Eagles. He does so much for Boston College on both ends of the floor, but especially the offensive end.
An enormous loss, no doubt about that. Here comes Franklin. What a great move. He is bouncy. He is loose. He's really 6'5", maybe 6'6". They list him as 6'7", but he plays like he's 6'11".
So quick off the floor and so good with the ball. He is a very difficult matchup because you have a ball-friendly big, which you don't often see in college basketball.
Kai Ashton-Langford against Moore. Nice job to the cup, and he puts it in. He's good off the dribble, isn't he?
Terrific off the dribble. Makai Ashton-Langford is at his best when he's playing, making plays off the dribble and attacking the basket.
The points in the paint, +6 in the early going for the Eagles. Ashton-Langford averaging 12 points per outing, second to Post 16. And Moore converts on the baseline move. Jalon Moore, he is their 6th man. He averages 8 points and 5 rebounds. Georgia Tech shooting 42% as a team. They average 69 points. In the post for Zachary.
Oh.
13 seconds to shoot.
Javon Franklin, terrific from the high post, put the ball on the floor, and a quick jumper. And Mekhi Ashton-Langford right back at him. Multiple dribbles, shifty, changes speeds, and is able to get an angle to the basket.
Foul called by Jeff Pond on Kyle Sturdivant, his first, with Zachary at the line.
Earl Grant likes to invert Zachary and post him up. Strong body guard, very good in the interior. And for a guard who can post up, Earl Grant likes to take advantage of that skill set.
Usually a good foul shooter. BC at the line, 72% as a team. And there's your dunk from Javon Franklin. That's why he's one of the tougher matchups in the league.
So quick out of that ball screen. Once the guard turns the corner, it's a race to the basket, and it's a race that Javon Franklin more times than not wins.
Air ball by Prince Alipe, the freshman from Minneapolis. BC has made 1 of 7 threes. Eagles average 6 per game, shooting 32% from distance. And out of bounds, but Javon Franklin was electric.
One of the more unique bigs in the ACC, Kyle Sturdivant throwing it up, and Javon Franklin knows what to do with it.
Call going the way of Boston College, Steve. Josh Pastner not happy with this one.
And he has a right to be not happy. You can see there clearly Chaz Kelly deflects the ball out of bounds. Josh Pastner, normally pretty reserved on the sideline, but anything but reserved on that. And if Josh is reacting like that, he was sure of what he saw, because that's not a normal reaction for Josh Pastner.
And could have been a technical foul called on Josh Pastner, but there was not. BC comes away with it. Chaz Kelly on the floor, a freshman from Houston, finds Bickerstaff on the baseline. Eagles playing without Quinten Post, who's out for the game with a apparent ankle injury as Mason Matson misses the 3. Here's a 3 off the line. Good pass in the post and a conversion by Jalen Moore. So Georgia Tech, as advertised, you mentioned it, they moved the ball well.
They're really moving the ball down the floor, and BC has been slow to match up in the half court. Great pass by Sturdivant, and Jalen Moore has given Georgia Tech a huge lift off the bench.
We have another full day of college basketball on ESPN and the app, but we're highlighting these 3. The top teams in the Big 12 square off at 4 Eastern. Number 9, Texas hosting number 3, Kansas. Then it's Duke and North Carolina. And at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, the top teams of the Pac-12 get after it. Number 4, UCLA hosts number 8, Arizona. Off of the backboard, and the beneficiary was TJ Bickerstaff.
He meant to do that. TJ, I'm going to throw it off the corner of the backboard. Be ready.
Used to call that at Duke practice, right?
That's right.
Baseline, what a move by Moore, but an awkward shot. And the Eagles come away with it. So a little sloppy on both sides, too. Feeling out process in the first half. How does BC adjust without Post as Ashton-Langford takes it to the rack?
Well, that possession was a great possession for the Eagles. Without Post in the game, I think they'll go 5 out and really look to open up the floor and create driving lanes for their guards to get downhill. Exactly what they did there for Mekhi Ashton-Langford.
Eagles shooting 44%. Langford has 4. His brother DeMar Langford is not playing today with an illness. Sturdivant, this little step back. That was crafty by Kyle Sturdivant, who's been an enormous part of their success. 7 of his last 9 in double figures, shooting 41% from 3. Ashton-Langford, an air ball, and here comes Lance Terry. Terry is a marathon man. Doesn't take a seat on the bench. Stolen by Madsen. McLaughlin, Bickerstaff. Beautiful ball movement by BC.
Terrific fast break by Boston College, turning their defense into offense. And with Post out of the game, it's going to be very important for the Eagles to create some offense from their defense.
Bickerstaff has given them a lift with 8 points. Not a premium offensive game. Terry. Good idea by Terry or no?
When he gets in there, that was a tough shot, a little mid-range floater, contested. When you get into the paint, a lot of times the kick out is your best option.
Madsen leads the Eagles with 34 three-pointers. Turnaround, Bickerstaff. And the rebound by Franklin, manning the break. Transfer from South Alabama. Pulls it back out for Sturdivant. Georgia Tech shooting 50%. They've made 3 three-pointers in 9 attempts. In the post for Franklin. 3. No good. Launched by Moore. Here comes Zachary. Ran into the defender Sturdivant. McLaughlin and an offensive foul. A.J. Desai, the official, calling the offensive foul on Devin McLaughlin, his first.
Great job by Jalen Moore. Has been a terrific addition off the bench for Josh Pastner. Quinten Post is BC's best player and among the best big guys in the Atlantic Coast Conference. 16 points a game, 6 rebounds, but those stats don't tell the full story. He is a guy on the offensive end that is a catalyst for everything they do. And today, before the game, we talked to Earl Grant. He talked about continuity being one of the reasons for their strong play of late. You hate to see it for Quinten Post and for this Eagles team. They will have to rally without their star player.
It happened at the 17-18 mark of the first half when Georgia Tech led 9-2. The Eagles have done a good job thus far in his absence, but we'll see how that carries. As you see, Georgia Tech is already locked in as the 13th seed. They'll play Tuesday in Greensboro. The Eagles will clinch the 9 with a win and a Syracuse loss. That will be a bye. That means they play Wednesday. They clinch the 10th seed with a loss or a Syracuse win. The Orange take on Wake Forest later. In the post for McLaughlin, too strong. And here comes the Jackets and a steal by Ashton Langford. He does that often, 2 per game. Coast to coast, can't convert.
2 makeable shots on the last 2 possessions by BC. Got the ball close to the basket, just could not finish.
Kyle Sturdivant, their captain for Miles Kelly. Boy, don't see that often. He had 7 threes against Syracuse the other night. Don't forget UFC 285 tonight from T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Another stacked card with a long-awaited return of John Jones taking on the champ Cyril Gahn for the heavyweight belt. Plus, Valentina Shevchenko defends her light flyweight title against Alexa Grasso. Main card begins at 10 Eastern on pay-per-view. Prelims at 8 Eastern on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus.
You can see with Post out, BC's really trying to spread the floor. Opportunistic post there by Pena, who has started out his senior afternoon strong.
Yeah, Pena and Bickerstaff have combined for 16 points. 10 field goals, 9 in the paint for the Eagles. Playing without their 7-footer.
Defensively, Boston College has done a much better job of late of taking Georgia Tech off the 3-point line.
Moore, the offensive putback. And Earl Grant was worried about that. Simply needed better positioning on the offensive glass. Adson for Langford. Eagles around the perimeter for Kelly. 4 out, 1 in for BC. Kelly with 5 to shoot. Baseline. Try to get by Terry. Paynier. And punched away for Sturdivant. Ugly possession for the Eagles. The drive. And a foul. Coleman aggressive. And contact by BC.
Ebo Coleman, an attacking driver, one of the better Yellow Jackets at getting to the foul line. And then attacking the offense of glass, Jalon Moore with the putback. He has given Georgia Tech a huge lift off the bench.
Yeah, Moore, it's double-digit points in 13 games. Fans are jacked up because if an opponent misses 2 consecutive foul shots, it's free bacon cheese fries from a local restaurant.
Well, that would get me fired up, too.
I think
can't go wrong with the bacon cheese fries.
I think broadcasters qualify for that.
Yeah, that's
okay. Right. I'm with you on that one. Make that a double, please. And good news for the Eagles is that fans have showed up today. Students are on spring break, but despite the bad weather, fans are here. Not a sellout, but still a nice crowd. Ashton Langford rolls around, and he's missed 3 layups as Moore corrals the board. Terry, baseline. Oh, my goodness. A posterizing opportunity. He missed it.
Strong drive by Lance Terry. Everything but the finish.
Where'd that power come from? My goodness. Zachary. And the foul by Jalon Moore, but Lance Terry.
The strong drive attacking the basket. BC trying to take away the 3, opens up the driving lane. And Lance Terry, great move, everything but the finish.
Find the portal for Javon Franklin and Lance Terry. Zachary converts. Bickerstaff back in for McLaughlin. Terry, that number tells the story with 11 threes in his last 2 in their last 8 games. That's a starter 2, 29 points per game combined. Think about Terry, in their 5 ACC wins, he's played the full 40 minutes in nearly all of them, with the exception of Syracuse when he played 39.
Yeah, Josh Pastner, for good reason, does not like when Lance Terry is off the floor, and he and Javon Franklin in the last 8 games have taken their game to another level.
Did you ever play a full 40 in 5 straight games?
I wish I would have, but I didn't have much say in it back in the day.
I'm guessing your coach probably said, that's not happening.
That's right.
Miles Kelly gives them a 4-point lead.
But for players, it's a player's dream.
Oh, yeah.
Players don't want to come out. Strong drive by Jaden Zachary at his best, attacking the basket. I love it, John. Josh is fighting for his team, and talking to Josh a couple days ago, he loves this group and he loves how they're playing, and he's fighting for his kids. You know, in his mind, there's still a lot of basketball to be played. His team is playing their best basketball in the season, and they want to continue to build on the momentum they've created here at the end of the regular season heading into ACC tournament play.
We have another full day of college basketball today on ESPN and the app. As Zachary completes the 3, we're highlighting these 3 games. The top teams in the Big 12 square off at 4 Eastern, 3 Central. Number 9, Texas hosting number 3, Kansas. Then the big one, Duke and North Carolina. Then at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. The top teams in the Pac-12 get after it. Number 4, UCLA hosts number 8, Arizona. Good defense on the weak side by Prince Aligbe. Here comes Makai Ashton Langford. Ooh. Another wild layup attempt. And the rebound for Franklin. 3 by Lance Terry. He's got it. Look out, Lance Terry's dangerous.
Big 5-point swing there. Langford had a chance to get to the basket, takes a wild shot in the paint, and it leads to a transition three for Lance Terry, who's one of the hottest shooters in the ACC conference right now.
The three by Prince Aligbe. Two wild shots for BC the last two times on the floor.
Yeah, and with Post out, that is not something that Boston College can afford to have. Quinten Post is such a key for them on the offensive end. When you get it close to the basket, you have to finish.
Yeah, they call Post the transformer because he can do so many different things, inside, outside. He shoots 40% from three. He's out for the game with an ankle injury. A runner by Aligbe. So 3 straight misses for the Eagles. Game's only been tied for 19 seconds. Georgia Tech has led for 17 minutes and a half.
Georgia Tech's playing with a great deal of confidence. Boston College is trying to find their footing without their best player. It's got to start on the defensive end. Try to create some offense from your defense, which Boston College is capable of doing. But not if Lance Terry continues to make shots at the frequency he is doing.
8 games since he was out with an injury, shooting 47%, averaging 14 points. There's contact on Ashton Langford. Foul on Lance Terry. That's his second.
Georgia Tech has gotten great opportunities from behind the arc, pushing it in transition. That time Lance Terry is the beneficiary of a good Debo Coleman pass.
They made their first 3 3-pointers. Since that point, they're 1 for 11 from distance. Aligbe drive and an offensive foul. Lee Cassell said Debo Coleman had position. Do you agree?
I would like to see it again. Yes, that is a charge. Got there, squared up, feet were stationary. Good call by the officials. And you can sense an air of frustration for the Eagles. Missing Quinten Post does so much in terms of facilitating and running offense as a center for Boston College. They're trying to find their footing without their best player.
That's good observation. BC, Steve, has 3 turnovers, 2 of them on offensive fouls. Good motion by the Jackets and a foul on Jaden Zachary. Is that Princeton-like motion from Georgia Tech?
That had some of the dribble drive flair to it, with multiple handoffs, trying to create a gap and a seam for Terry to attack. But to your point, Georgia Tech loves to run the Princeton offense, which is a spacing and rhythm offense, and they are in rhythm to this point in the game.
Coleman blanketed by Ashton Langford, 1 to shoot, and he hits it. My goodness, Debo Coleman beating the shot clock.
Tough shot. One of BC's better defensive possessions of the half, forced a tough contested 2. Debo Coleman calls bank.
7-0 Jackets run. Waning stages of the first half. Zachary spinning in the paint. That was nifty.
Strong move by a strong guard. Getting downhill, he is very effective as an offensive player.
Terry with the 3, and that will do it for the first half. Josh Pastner, his animation continues throughout. He has been extremely vociferous. A 6-point lead for Georgia Tech.
Significant in a lot of ways, and we saw they're 1 for 10 from 3. Post is their best 3-point shooter. He's a 44% 3-point shooter. Let's see out of halftime if Boston College can get in better rhythm on the offensive end.
BC wearing their red bandana jerseys. Jaden Zachary 3 off the line. And the putback miss by Ashton Langford, who's missed 4 high percentage shots.
And the Boston College team when they watch this tape, they're going to see how many missed opportunities they had close to the basket. Those are shots, especially with your leading scorer out, that they have to capitalize on.
Ashton Langford 2 for 8 from the field. Rims out for Miles Kelly, who had a quiet first half for the Jackets with 5 points.
He's had some good looks early in this game, shots that he normally, especially recently, has been automatic on. Boston College cannot continue to tempt fate and leave him open on the perimeter.
Prince Alibe starting the second half, did not start the first, but with the injury to Post, he's in there. They jack a 3 from CJ Payne. Not a good look.
No, Earl Grant wants his team to attack the paint regardless of the defense that Georgia Tech is in. They started the first half settling for threes. They need to get it in the paint, and when they do, they have to finish at a higher level.
Payne and Alibe for Zachary, joined in the backcourt by Ashton Langford, trying to knife through. Good pass. TJ Bickerstaff lays it in.
Terrific drive by Jaden Zachary, feeding TJ Bickerstaff, who's been terrific on his senior afternoon here for Boston College. They're going to need other guys to step up on the offensive end.
Georgia Tech led by as many as 9 in the first half. Sturdivant back irons it. Zachary has the board. Right behind the back dribble and out of bounds, though, as he hits the back of the basket in frustration.
And it's been a frustrating afternoon to this point for Boston College on the offensive end, but give Georgia Tech credit. Some of the reason for the lack of flow and rhythm on the offensive end is the fact that Georgia Tech is changing defenses effectively and keeping Boston College guessing in the half court.
How does that take a team off its offensive control when you change that often on defense?
Well, there's a moment where the offensive team at times can stop and try to figure out what the defensive team is doing instead of just reading and reacting and playing out of concepts regardless of what defense Georgia Tech is in.
Keeps you off kilter, and Earl Grant told us before the game, he's, as everyone that knows when they play Josh Pastner teams, they'll do that switching defense maybe within a possession even, as Kelly is at the line after the foul on Zachary, his second.
And talking to Earl before the game, we asked him, you know, what do you tell your team with all the changing defenses that Georgia Tech runs? He said, we want to keep it very simple, and above all else, play through the paint. And when they've done, they've gotten good opportunities. They haven't finished them at the level they're capable of, but they need to continue to attack the paint. Their offense runs best, especially with Post out when they do.
That complicates matters with him out of the lineup. Pena the drive, the putback by Bickerstaff. Oh, he's industrious off the offensive glass. He has 12 points, 1 shy of his season best output against Detroit Mercy. He had 13 against Antoine Davis's Detroit Mercy squad. Franklin. Kelly from the elbow. That was special.
That young man has a pretty shot, has not been able to knock him down with the frequency we're accustomed to seeing, especially of late, but one of the better young shooters in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Also one of the most improved players in the conference, if not the most improved. Pena eyes the 3, had it in his sights, and why not take it, right?
Well, they're daring Pena to shoot. That's about his 4th wide open 3-pointer. He was set, he was in rhythm, good shot, and a big basket for the Eagles.
And he has 11 points. An up and under move by Jalen Moore, but he misses the high percentage bunny. Lob, and intercepted by Franklin, who had it covered in the post. Kelly the 3, no. And the rebound by CJ Pena. You didn't like the lob by Makai Ashton Langford.
Well, at this point, with the offense struggling like it has, there's no reason to take unnecessary risks, and that's what that pass was. But TJ Bickerstaff In his final game at Conte Forum, attacking the basket has been Boston College's most impactful player to this point. Wants to finish with
trailing by a point, 9-4 run to start the second half. TJ Bickerstaff, Steve Wojciechowski, a big part of it.
TJ Bickerstaff with 14 points and CJ Pena with 11. The two seniors who started for senior day celebrations have 25 of Boston College's points, and TJ Bickerstaff has been a huge reason why Boston College is still in this basketball game.
Transfer from Drexel. That number is telling. 9 for 30 for the rest of the team. 7 of 9 for Bickerstaff from the field as he completes the three-point play. He's Steve Wojciechowski. I'm John Mita Perrell. Producer Russ Ken. Director Mike Baker. An outstanding crew. Dave Kors, great help at the table. Mr. Stats, hope you've enjoyed it thus far. Kyle Sturdivant tries to penetrate around Zachary. He does. It's blocked on the weak side by CJ Pena. How do you like that?
Tremendous help side defense by CJ Pena. Out of timeouts, Pastner has gone to try to create drives for his perimeter guys, and CJ Pena says no thank you.
Lance Terry to the rim. Effective. He's a strong guy.
He has played so well of late for Georgia Tech as Josh Pastner mixes up his defense again.
Do you like it?
You know, it's been very effective in keeping Boston College out of rhythm on the offensive end, keeping them out of the paint. It's been very effective this afternoon for Georgia Tech.
Malik Bay off the double, and he converts. Third tie of the night. Prince Malik Bay's been quiet. Freshman out of Minnehaha Academy, played with Jalen Suggs and Chet Holmgren in high school in Minneapolis.
I saw him as a freshman in high school at Minnehaha. He is going to be quite the player for Earl Grant as he continues to grow and develop his game.
Good move by Franklin. That's a pro move in the post.
So quick off the floor. He's at the rim, and his defender more times than not is still on the floor.
Bickerstaff to Pena, and he hits it. So CJ Pena, part of BC's offense in the second half, that has made his last 5 shots.
Well, Pena and Bickerstaff have been BC's offense. One of the things Boston College will need going down the stretch is for one or more of their perimeter guys to step up, particularly Mekhi Ashton Langford. For him to get going would really be important for this BC team.
How about the defense by Bickerstaff, sealing it off Terry. Ashton Langford, the lob. Malik Bay's got it. Thought about the dunk, but then thought better of it as the Eagles have a 2-point advantage and a timeout. Georgia Tech, largest lead of the game for BC. TJ Bickerstaff triggering it on the defensive end, Steve.
Doing it on both ends. TJ Bickerstaff.
Kai Ashton Langford, part of the group, but TJ Bickerstaff's defense, we showed to you before the break, he erased Terry, and then that triggers the fast break.
Well, TJ Bickerstaff is playing with the urgency that you would expect to see from a senior who is playing his last home game. Bickerstaff and Pena got the start today, and they are rewarding Earl Grant with inspired play.
And your senior day, 1998, Duke and Carolina, you had 11 assists. What was it like for you as it's pinned by Malik Bay on Terry, or good defense by the Eagles?
Well, the senior day celebrations can be very emotional, and they certainly were for me. You know, we played North Carolina with the ACC regular season championship on the line. We're able to come back from a 17-point deficit in the second half. So I have great empathy for these seniors.
And the defense continued. Mekhi Ashton Langford disrupted the shot of Terry. Zachary's got it for BC. They have a 4-point lead as they've had the upper hand in the second half, outscoring the Jackets 18-8.
And it feels like Boston College has seized the momentum. They've been able to turn their defense into offense. Georgia Tech is not nearly getting the quality of shot they had been getting earlier in the game. Credit Boston College's defense.
Javon Franklin to Kyle Sturdivant. And the board for Elite Bay. BC is plus 11 in points since the Post injury.
And
is that just fluky?
Well, they've settled into the game, especially in this second half. There's an adjustment when your best player goes out, and guards not only in the ACC but nationally. He is a tough cover. He can shoot it, he handles it, and he makes outstanding decisions.
1 out of 2 for Jaden Zachary. TJ Bickerstaff leading the way for the Eagles with 15 on the bench for a respite. Zachary's one of 3 Eagles in double figures with 11. Mason Madsen on Kyle Sturdivant. Terry ran into Zachary, and an offensive foul goes off the board, says A.J. Desai. It's on Zachary, his 3rd.
The defensive pressure for Boston College has ramped up. Jaden Zachary moving his feet very close to drawing the charge on Lance Terry right there. But I like the effort and energy on the defensive end for Boston College has been far superior in this second half to the first half. Certainly Earl Grant talked about that at halftime.
Why have they neutralized the Jackets, who were 3 for 13 in the half from the field?
Well, the ball pressure for Boston College has gone to another level in this second half and run Georgia Tech off the 3-point line. That time, Lance Terry taking what the defense gives him, not a 3-point shot, but an attacking drive. Lance Terry playing at an incredibly high level.
And superb athleticism from the Gardner-Webb transfer. Deep 3 for Ashton Langford. He hits his first triple of the game.
Welcome sight for Boston College. Ashton Langford has not had his best game today. Maybe that 3-point shot can get him going. A very important piece for this Boston College team.
Lee Cassell calling the foul on Ashton Langford. Our NBA Saturday primetime game on ABC and the ESPN app is a terrific Eastern Conference matchup between Joel Embiid and the 3rd-place Sixers and Giannis and the 2nd-place Bucks, who've won 14 straight. Our coverage begins with NBA Countdown at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. And another quick foul on BC. That's the 2nd on C.J. Pena. Officiating crew of Lee Cassell, A.J. Desai, and Jeff Bond. And some pensive moments for Earl Grant.
Boston College has done a very good job on Miles Kelly, the sharpshooter from Georgia Tech. Only 1 for 6 from 3.
That's short on the 3 for Debo Coleman, who's been hot and cold all year. Usually if Coleman, Terry, and Kelly shoot well, the Jackets are tough to beat. That's been the case in their 5 ACC wins. And Mason Madsen drains the 3. A 9-point BC lead, largest of the game.
And that's what Mason Madsen gives Boston College. He is a 3-point specialist for Earl Grant. And Miles Kelly with the answer.
Stifles the 13-2 BC run.
Big shot for Georgia Tech right there. Miles Kelly has struggled from behind the arc, just his 2nd 3 of the night, and knocks down a really good look. Boston College cannot give him that much space.
Delay of game warning as well, as the Eagles have not missed a shot in their last 9 attempts. And a steal by Javon Franklin against Kelly in the open floor. Whoa. And look out. Franklin gets up limping. 2 guys landed on Javon as the defensive intensity is cranked up, Steve.
Pastor changes defense to the matchup zone. Franklin with really good anticipation, and then a 4-car pileup on the transition drive. Let's hope he's okay. We already have 1 star center down. Let's hope Javon Franklin is all right.
First Kelly on the freshman from Houston, or first foul on the freshman from Houston, Chaz Kelly. Hopefully you don't see one of those 4-car pileups on your ride down to Bristol, Connecticut later.
Amen to that.
Miles Kelly for Coleman, directing traffic. Eagles on a +12 scoring advantage in the second half, but look out, Miles Kelly, 2 straight threes for him, and we got a 3-point ball game.
Defensive breakdown allows Kelly to see it go through the hoop. 2 in a row for him. That is dangerous because he can put up points in a hurry for the Yellow Jackets.
After the Madsen 3 miss, Madsen's brother plays for Utah, twin brother, and Georgia Tech played Utah on November 21st. They lost 68-64. They've had their fill of Madsens. Kelly block. Well done by Devin McLaughlin, 5th block of the game for the Eagles. They averaged 6, and Ashton Langford just lost the ball. Kyle Sturdivant, and the board for Terry. Good hustle by Lance Terry. Eyes the 3, and he buys the 3. What a stretch for the Jackets. They are on fire, 9-0 run.
Ashton Langford compounding a mistake. He dribbles it, turns it over, and instead of sprinting back, he wants to have a conversation with the official, which leads to a wide open Lance Terry 3. Veterans got to be smarter than that at this crucial moment.
Eagles careless with the ball in the last 90 seconds, and Miles Kelly has been an igniter for Georgia Tech, along with Lance Terry, as Josh Pastner's animation continues. He's been active throughout the game, but how about this shot by Lance Terry?
Lance Terry has been a hot shooter. You cannot leave him open. Yeah, Boston College with 3 turnovers in their last 4 possessions. Langford turns it over, and instead of sprinting back and getting on to the next play, he wants to have a conversation with the official, and that leads to a Lance Terry 3 for a senior on his senior day. He has got to be able to move on to the next play, because if you do not, exactly what happened, a Georgia Tech 3 will be the result. The veterans got to show greater maturity for his group, especially down Quinten Post.
And surprising, in that game summary you just saw, BC plus 14 points in the paint, playing without their 7-footer from Amsterdam. Just beating the shot clock, TJ Bickerstaff, who had a few minutes on the bench. BC has a scoring drought of 225.
Well, in the last 4-minute segment, Georgia Tech reestablished momentum, starting with Miles Kelly, open 3s. And fortunate there for Boston College, going under a 3 for a guy who's just hit 2 in a row.
Chaz Kelly for Devin McLaughlin. Ashton Langford, air ball. And a loose ball foul on TJ Bickerstaff as he pushed Terry to the floor, and it's the 2nd foul on Bickerstaff. Virginia clinches the #2 seed in Greensboro at the ACC tournament with a 15-point win over Louisville.
Good to see Virginia get back to their winning ways. This month has been a struggle for them, especially on the offensive end. A much-needed win for the Cavaliers heading into the ACC tournament.
BC upset them at County Forum. on February 22nd, 63-48, court storming.
And they were tremendous in that Virginia game. Their defense was aggressive and disruptive, and Quinten Post, healthy for that game, was a dominant player.
Third foul on Bickerstaff with Terry at the line. Final 7 minutes. Where are you going on both sides? BC's offense, what do they have to do to break this 320 scoring drought?
Well, this BC team is at their best when they're attacking the basket. They need to be smart about taking advantage of the opportunities to get the ball in the paint. If the defense converges, that's when the threes will be there, inside, outside threes. But it needs to start with a paint touch for Boston College.
Harold Grant told us we want to play paintball. Grant skips it for Zachary, the three. He's got it. Jaden Zachary with 14 points, his first three of the game. The fifth for the Eagles in 17 attempts, and they grab the lead again.
Big shot by Jaden Zachary. He is one heck of a competitor. When the game's on the line, more times than not, he steps up for this Eagles team.
Sturdivant, he's been quiet, but not that time.
Tough shot for Kyle Sturdivant. Step back three over top of a hand.
Yeah, he has 7 of his last 9 in double figures. He has 7 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. He's their captain. He's been a major part of their success throughout February, now early March. And a good backdoor pass to McLaughlin. Excellent ball movement.
Excellent interior passing by Boston College, and that is what Harold Grant is talking about when he says they want to be a paint team. Get the ball in the paint and see what the defense gives you and take advantage of that. Good execution by Boston College.
Sturdivant back irons the three. Here comes Ashton Langford. Good decision to hold.
Yeah, Georgia Tech's done a good job throughout the game getting back in transition and making Boston College play against their half-court defense. And Georgia Tech continues to mix up their defenses, trying to keep Boston College off balance.
A foul on Kyle Sturdivant as Prince Alipe got harassed. But the threes for the Eagles, Zachary the first one. And then the match by Georgia Tech and Lance Terry.
Kyle Sturdivant with the step back three. BC and Georgia Tech trading threes here late in the game. Georgia Tech in the matchup zone, and as much as BC wants to get it in the paint, Georgia Tech wants to protect their paint defensively.
Good catch by Bickerstaff. McLaughlin fired the pass out of bounds.
Probably should have shot the ball
with less than a second to shoot it.
Look for something at the rim for McLaughlin.
Trigger, and that's a violation, shot clock violation, turnover on the Eagles. Their 9th. Georgia Tech only 5 turnovers, 11 turnovers per game, their lowest per game average since 1992-93.
Take very good care of the ball. Big reason why is Kyle Sturdivant. Josh Pastner sings his praises as a leader and a floor general.
No turnovers in the second half for Georgia Tech. Sturdivant patient. Eagles keep it alive. Here comes Makai Ashton-Langford, the Providence transfer. Runs into a wall and an offensive foul. Jeff Pond was all over it, the official, and Makai Ashton-Langford's tough day gets longer. It's his second foul.
Great play by Debo Coleman. Knows Langford wants to get to the rim. Great anticipation, gets set, and a terrific charge for Debo Coleman, giving up his body for his team. I really like his game. He's a winning player. He does the little things, as we just saw, that makes this Georgia Tech team better.
Yeah, they've been quietly feisty. The last 8, they're 5-3. Just ask Syracuse what happened the other night, a 20-point loss by the Orange. What a block on the weak side. 6 blocks for the Eagles. Great pass, but a block by Javon Franklin. It's a block party, Steve. Kelly, good defensive anticipation on both sides.
Really good job for both teams getting back in transition after the block shot.
Javon Franklin powers in.
Contact.
Well, you would think. Might have been a foul, but no call. 3 by Kelly's got it. Big time shot. Miles Kelly hits it.
The best three-pointer to shoot is a three-pointer after an offensive rebound. Georgia Tech corrals the offensive rebound, swings it around the horn for Miles Kelly. 3.
13 points in the half for Kelly. He has 18 overall. Zachary gets it back. And Georgia Tech basketball. BC's scoring drought again, 255, but Miles Kelly, what an answer.
They move it around the horn. Miles Kelly gets his feet set, and when he gets an open...
7.5 minutes, BC, 5 points, 5 turnovers.
Well, if BC has an Achilles heel throughout the season, it is extended periods of time where they can go on scoring droughts. And especially with Post out of the game, there really isn't an easy answer on how to break that without him.
Post out, left with 17-18 to play in the first half with an ankle injury. Madsen brings them off their feet at Connie Forum with a 3-pointer.
2 big threes in the second half for Mason Madsen. That's what he brings to the table. Boston College is a team that can struggle from behind the arc. Mason Madsen is their 3-point specialist.
7 for 19 on threes his last 4 games. Sturdivant, almost a steal by Pena. Kelly, beautiful shot. He has terrific form. You said it the pregame. Miles Kelly is a form shooter.
Huge answer for Miles Kelly from NBA range. If he gets his feet set and has time and space, he's as dangerous a perimeter shooter as there is in the ACC.
Rims out for Mason Madsen with 1:22 remaining. Timeouts you see on your screen. BC 3, Georgia Tech 2. Offensively, what are the Jackets doing here in the last 70 seconds as they swing it to the corner?
Broken play, look for a ball screen here at the end of clock.
Sturdivant hoists a 3 and he hit it.
Wow!
Oh my goodness. Big time shot.
The senior leader, Kyle Sturdivant, with a huge 3 for the Yellow Jackets.
2 3-pointers coming at key spots. Miles Kelly started it.
NBA range, feet set. You can put it in the books with Miles Kelly. Then a broken play. Kyle Sturdivant has to take it into his own hands and raises up off the ball screen. You can see why Josh Pastner loves that veteran leader.
It's hard to run a business on your own. Make it easier on yourself. With Shopify, you can have everything you need to streamline your shipping, returns, and product storage so you can focus on growing your business. Because when we work together, the future is bright. It doesn't have to be lonely at the top. Join the millions of finding success on their own terms. Start your journey with a free trial today.
BC trailing Georgia Tech by 6. The 70th annual New York Life ACC tournament begins Tuesday afternoon at Greensboro Coliseum. We'll have all 3 first-round games for you at 2, 4:30, and 7 Eastern over on ACC Network and the ESPN app. What a time to be a college basketball fan. I know you'll be in studio in Bristol, and you can't ask for better action than we have for you on the ESPN family of networks. Georgia Tech said throughout the game, if they hit their threes, this just in, they're a dangerous team. They started 4 for 20 since that point, 7 for their last 9 on triples.
Well, one of the things that has been a theme in the strong finish for Georgia Tech is their ability to knock shots down from behind the three-point line. And even when they were 4 for 20, they kept hunting good shots, and they knew it was just a matter of time before they were able to knock them down. Boston College here is going to have to try to get something quick.
Langford goes to the rack, and he draws the foul. You like the decision.
Very good decision. You want to try to get something quick. If you can get fouled, stop the clock, extend the game. Smart play by Ashton Langford.
2-possession game. Foul on Miles Kelly is first. 2 shots. Scoring droughts have reared their ugly head at 4 times for BC in their 15-15 season. We've seen 2 in the second half, 1 of 4 minutes, another 1 of 3 minutes.
Look for BC to extend their pressure. Maybe a hard trap on the first inbounds pass and try to anticipate, maybe create a steal in the full court.
They pick up pressure, and Zachary fouls Kyle Sturdivant. That's 4 fouls on Jaden Zachary. Sturdivant to the line. Sturdivant at the line with 10 points. First time he'll take a foul shot. He's played 37 minutes. They go 6 deep. Been riding this rotation for the last 8 games, and ever since they shortened the rotation, they became a better team.
Yeah, and their team has responded. This is a great team in terms of chemistry that Josh Pastner has put on the floor during this strong stretch run.
And big-time shots by Sturdivant, their captain, to give them a 6-point lead. Dicey pass behind the back. Ashton Langford, rebound Franklin. Sturdivant, and he's fouled. Third foul on Makai Ashton Langford. They're going to make a living at the line in the last 25 seconds. A frustrating day for Earl Grant. BC led by 9 at the 10:08 mark of the second half. They were up 55-46.
Unfortunate luck for the Eagles. We talked about their lack of continuity throughout the better part of the season, and early in the game their star player goes down. Just doesn't appear Boston College had enough to overcome that today. And give Georgia Tech credit, they are playing extraordinarily well.
Wild shot by Zachary and a foul after the rebound by Javon Franklin. Foul on Devin McLaughlin. So with an 8-point lead, it hits these 2. You put it on the board for the Yellow Jackets.
Javon Franklin has been so impressive to me in preparation from this game. As a center, he is such a difficult matchup for opposing centers because of his speed, his athleticism, and he has got a world-class motor.
And 2 points shy of his 6th double-double in his last 7 games. He has 14 rebounds and 8 points. And 2 big misses.
Well, at least the Boston College faithful will get some bacon cheese fries.
There you go. two misses at the line by an opponent, picks up the bacon cheese fry plate. But
don't shoot it.
The big number on the board is going to be your final result. Georgia Tech has won 6 of their last 9. They have big-time momentum going to Greensboro on Tuesday afternoon as they beat the Eagles by 8.
Give Josh Pastner a ton of credit being able to reinvent this team in the month of February, so they are heading into March playing with as much confidence as any team